championship leader is stopped on the pace laps.
Huge
What
moment
a development.
Huge moment here. What is going on with the number 10 of Alex Palou as the leaders cross start finish? And as quickly as that happens, as it sits right now, Alex Palou is falling in terms of championship lead before our eyes. As all these race cars cross the line, I think it's going to be about 20 points separating. Now it's 18. It's updated in real time, James. 16 points separates Palou from Will Power. The whole championship is wide open before they even go in anger at Milwaukee.
Keep an eye on Power. Red, white, and black Verizon car, and there's no start.
Oh,
big
crash!
Power got through. Power got through.
Okay, go for it.
Joseph Newgarden out from pole position 2 days in a row for a start that was waved off.
They waved off the start. Did someone go from behind? Keep an eye on that number 8 car and Marcus Armstrong. The two Ganassis came together and got into Newgarden.
It was Linus Lundqvist seemingly not aware that the start was waved off.
Pato Award barely missing, getting into the back of Newgarden there. Your winner from yesterday, great avoiding action.
Look at the spool of copper there as Alex Palou. This is a break for him that it went caution straight away. Unfortunately, he's 6 laps down, but he's on the racetrack.
Now Scott McLaughlin controls the field. Will Power is 8 points back as they run, starting from second. Lundqvist, Rossi, Award. Let's go again from Milwaukee. And Rossi taking a look right down there on Lundqvist. Can he get him through 2?
3 wide behind them, and same old story. Connor Daly living up there in Schechterville, USA, in that third lane, making moves early.
His teammate Roman Grosjean side by side with Santino Ferrucci there. Pato Award down low.
Marcus Ericsson working the top off of 4 around Nolan Siegel. Trying to rebound from yesterday's crash. Side by side now, Ferrucci there in that black and yellow Phoenix machine for AJ Foyt Racing. Coming off a strong result.
Fighting with David Malukas, couldn't get him there, dives down to low side again. Ferrucci is through, he is thrilling on ovals.
Santino Ferrucci does not have a contract in hand for next season, but this weekend he's showing everybody why he probably deserves a multi-year contract as Colton Herta goes around Scott Dixon as we take a look at this replay.
This is Colton trying to make lane 3 work. We saw this happen yesterday. Kyle Kirkwood got stuck in a sandwich in that same spot. But even here, Dixon's riding in that second lane. Colton saying, don't care, I'll try lane 3.
That's back for 13th place. Here's Jack Harvey on the low side in the white and green car as Colton Herta continues to move forward up to 12th.
These guys watched a lot of game tape last night of Connor Daly making these moves happen up high. Everyone a lot more comfortable further up the racetrack than what we saw at this stage yesterday. And it's leading to a lot of moves early in this race. Grosjean up 4, Ericsson up 6.
There has been a development and a battle for the lead up front. Championship implications. Will Power is running on the outside on Scott McLaughlin. McLaughlin in the blue car trying to hang on the lead. Power, if he can get by, would take over the championship lead as the points run.
You gotta wonder how much is Will Power asking his team to help him out a little bit here now. I don't think there would be any coming because Team Penske always races each other straight up. Will Power is going to have to earn it today, but he certainly knows what's on offer as you ride on board the Verizon onboard, James. Power knows
struggling.
His teammate might be struggling. A little bit of
already politicking.
Hopeful optimism there.
But you got to remember, teammates, yes. You got to think bigger picture, yes. But at the same time,
very careful around you.
There's no love lost between these two. Multiple incidents on track between them over the course of the years cost both drivers points. I don't think we're going to see a lot of give and take necessarily between those two as we see championship leader Palou back on track.
But he is 28 laps down.
The team just replaced a 12-volt battery in the car, which powers the ignition and a couple other things, and the car fired right up. So I understand that if it was a hybrid issue, the car would not be running right now. So that's the good news for Palou. They still somehow, he and Barry Wanzer have just maintained their composure. Alex said, we're not going to worry about points. We're going to go out here and we're going to ride around and just do what we have to do to score as much points as possible. So they are not out of it by any means and going to keep fighting all the way to the end.
Marcus Armstrong is trying, his team is trying to repair that car, but right now he is many laps down. And we saw Nolan Siegel sitting on pit lane. He is 18 laps down, so there is a position that Palou can get. And here comes Power again to fight for the lead on his teammate Scott McLaughlin. He's got a little run.
This is a really fun part of the race when the drivers start to explore laterally, left to right across this wide Milwaukee track. Where can I find clean air? And Power is looking everywhere.
Power definitely has the pace advantage as he goes by now. Scott McLaughlin, he's got to contest with this lap traffic. Linus Lundqvist, the number 8, first car that Power will get to. Gallagher Insurance on board.
Will Power slid up the racetrack there. You go to that inside line, there's no grip, and what does that do to the championship? 3 points now to Power's favor. Will Power leads the championship in a scenario that we never could have imagined.
Colton Herta is the biggest mover since the start of the race. He's plus 10, and Graham Rahal has advanced 10 positions so far. And what's going on with Connor Daly in the pit lane and sitting there in a caution because David Malukas is slowing. Mechanical issue.
Emergency mode is being yelled over the radio. That's a switch that kind of overrides a lot of the fail-safes on the sensors on the car that hopefully allows you to get some control back, whether it's throttle control, gearbox.
Time to go again for Milwaukee. That's Alexander Rossi in the papaya and white and black car behind. Third is Scott McLaughlin. Don't forget about Pato Ward on the charge at fourth.
Just looking at that left front wing here for Pato Ward as we ride on board thanks to Aero. Doesn't look like there's any damage, maybe just a little bit more vibration with the left front end fences. Santino Ferrucci, I think there, just did another big slide job going into turn 3.
Snookered Pato by using Kevin Simpson as a pick, fired it in there. We've seen that move a couple times now out of Santino over the last day and a half, and he is still hanging it up top. Let's take a look back at the restart from the 14's perspective, getting a look at what he did. That's Stingray Robb immediately in front of him in that white and pink machine. No surprise there, Townsend, all up top all day long.
Yeah, but brilliant stuff once again. 2 days in a row from Ferrucci. Now he's got the big draft on Pato Award. Gonna use it deep in on the brakes. And boy, you're taking a big leap of faith, but he's making it work, Dylan.
And he just came on the radio on that yellow and said, the first stint I was struggling to be aggressive on corner entry, but the changes we made have the car much more underneath me now. So I think you saw that there. He looked pretty confident on corner entry.
A contender with problems. That's been a theme today. Pato Award won yesterday, and he is sitting on pit lane.
His Aero McLaren crew looking at the back end of that race car, engine cover off. Have to be some sort of driveline issue. Is this maybe another electrical problem, as the crew members probably feel pretty helpless in this situation, James? It's one of these things where it's likely computer, hybrid, something's going on where they really can't deal with it where they sit. As Pato Award's going to get out. Let's take a look at the replay and listen.
Have an issue, we need the box. Slow by 50.
And all of the contenders have made their second stop, so let's see how the top 2 did. Our pit stop differential powered by NTT. This time it powers the 12 team quicker.
No surprise that the team that leads and I think has secured the pit stop championship for the season got it done in time in box. Big credit to the Verizon 12 team. Fast Guns, I think it's 3 years in a row they're at the top.
Power in front. Has one more lap car to deal with, and let's see, Townsend, what he's been working with and against here in the last little while.
Yeah, Rasmussen and Stingray Robb there, jamming him up a little bit. And then you see the orange and white Alexander Rossi car kind of trapped behind 2 that were too wide.
He was
Very slow ahead. Rest system low, low. All clear.
There was something like 4-lap cars in between Rossi and these two drivers here who he's battling with right now for those top spots. And you see Will's making holes, McLaughlin just going with him.
The one inside.
Heads up driving from Rasmussen. He's got cars outside, inside. He's the meat in the sandwich there.
For Will Power, it's so dicey right there. You're hoping the rookie Rasmussen sees you, knows you're there, knows you're coming to the outside. If you could, you'd pull your elbows and shoulders in on that race car to try to, excuse me, pardon me, and get between him and the wall.
We are down to 10 on the lead lap. Rinus VK would be the next victim trying to stay. On the Hy-Vee on board with Christian Lundgaard.
Oh, 3 wide off of 2. Dixon making it work on the high side. Pietro Fittipaldi, God, you feel for him. He's trying to not get in people's way. Or is that Lundgaard? Sorry, that's Christian Lundgaard. These Rahal cars just struggling. Fittipaldi a few positions back on the track there.
And with all this green flag running now, you just know that offline, all that spent rubber is accumulating. Factored heavily into some of the racing yesterday as drivers do not want to get high. That PNC shot from Scott Dixon, you can't see the marbles, but they're there. Palou comes in for a stop on lap 110. Car working just fine now.
Under caution now at the Milwaukee Mile, and the leaders are coming in. Will Power back in play for a championship, but Scott McLaughlin, that blue Gallagher car, is going to hit his marks first. Dylan.
Will Power is in as well. They'll change 4 tires and just a quick fill of fuel. A little bit late on, it looked like maybe the back tires, but still a 6.6 second stop for Power.
And Scott McLaughlin jumped his teammate Will Power, who needs all the points he can score for the championship. How will Team Penske deal with this?
Let's take a look at the reason why we're under caution. Stingray Robb there in the Goodhart Chevy, the number 41 AJ Foyt car. We're on board with Kirkwood. But have a look at Stingray Robb up ahead. Big old snap. Tank slapper off of turn 2. He's able to lock it down on the brakes and keep that thing out of the wall. That was really close to a big one.
Pretty similar to what we saw to the 51 of Catherine Legge yesterday.
All right, gather it up here. Alexander Rossi controls the field. He gets a good jump. Remember, there's still lap traffic to deal with, so Dixon is going to have to get by in that orange and blue car, trying to get by there for second in the race, but he's not second in line.
The second in line was Connor Daly, using the Connor Daly line up top to get around the lap car of Catherine Legge.
Oh, here comes Santino Ferrucci again. 3 wide, a crash. Graham Rahal.
Hard into the wall for Rahal, spun all the way around 360 degrees.
This got absolutely drilled.
Let's take a quick look.
There is Rasmussen, the blue 20 that got in the back, but there are a lot of factors involved in this one. We'll sort it out and go racing again from Milwaukee. So Scott Dixon has 1 car to navigate to be able to attack Rossi. Let's go again from the Milwaukee Mile, and Will Power is around.
Right,
He was in play to
You gotta
take
keep
the
it running.
championship
Keep it running.
lead.
Go.
And he's made contact, but he may not be out.
He got it refired. That's huge.
Unbelievable. A spin on the restart. Very little contact. I don't think any damage on the nose of the number 12. Unreal. He had lost 2 spots on that last restart. He was running down in 6th.
What happens here? He just loses it on his own, mid-corner, accelerating there for the restart. Stays in the throttle to try to keep the car low off the wall and comes back around. Let's ride on board and listen.
Are you ready? 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 Go. Green. Careful. Just save it. On the brake. All right, go. You gotta keep it running. Go.
They just said we would like to do a main plane. Are they coming back in? So they have front wing damage, so he is going to come down. But I believe we're going green next time by.
I don't know if I like that call. If in fact it's going to go green, that's going to put Power deep into the clutches. Our lights are off in here. Pit
Pace car's pulling off. This seems like a bizarre call from the 12 team.
Very strange. That front wing looks fine.
And the start is not going to happen this time.
Don't worry.
Why?
Try to get it done.
The order was not correct.
Will Power just
Dodged it.
gets super lucky, but he's going to go a lap down here.
Coming, there's start finish.
Alexander Rossi takes them back to green. Scott Dixon is going to get by Connor Daly. Many laps down. That blue car is Scott McLaughlin. He is third in the race, but has some more traffic to deal with.
Look at Ferrucci squeezing too high there, as Christian Rasmussen will get a penalty. Look at Rinus VK, his teammate, up the inside of Kiffin Simpson.
For that last caution, Christian Rasmussen is going to be penalized, a drive-through, and Will Power is now in recovery mode.
Look at
he
this.
is a lap down, fighting the two championship contenders, not on the lead lap at this point. Alex Palou is 28 laps down, looking for attrition to continue to score more points. He runs 22nd in this race.
Will let him go. Let Alex Palou go as Colton Herta now with his teammate Marcus Ericsson.
Oh, three wide, Ferrucci on the low side, Ericsson in the middle, and Colton Herta now makes it 2 wide, side by side, Ferrucci down low, Herta up high.
That was a great move from Herta. Mid-corner coming off of 4, deciding to pull out driver's right, trying to make the move on Ericsson, pulling it off. These two still digging deep, side by side off of 4, traffic in front, and Ferrucci gets the spot.
Is this a flat oval or is this Texas Super Speedway?
Watch Ferrucci, he wants more. Almost gets into the side of Lundqvist there as Ferrucci is fearless.
Up to P4 for the number 14, Linus Lundqvist, lap down. Not for position, neither is Rasmussen in front. I think he still has to come in and serve his penalty.
I think Ferrucci just got into the side of Christian Rasmussen.
All right, good work.
He is just chewing up the field. Stuff that would make AJ Foyt so proud of his young driver on board here with Herta.
AJ's, I'm sure, watching at the ranch in Texas. His driver finished 4th yesterday, finished 3rd last year in the Indianapolis 500 for AJ, and won a pole last weekend, is 4th. He's going to look up ahead. We look up ahead to Ferrucci from the Gamebridge on board of Colton Herta, and he's got some connections that know how to win here. Michael won 5 times, Mario won 4 times. And this is the lead. The legend, Scott Dixon, still chasing AJ Foyt for the most ever, trying to make his way past Alexander Rossi in that white and papaya car on board the PNC Bank on board as Rossi deals with lap traffic ahead.
And guys, when we get crazy races like today from the drop of the green flag, this guy always seems to make it happen as he goes to the high side of Alexander Rossi. We didn't talk much about Dixon in the first half, but I'll bet we'll be talking about him down the stretch.
You just watch on that Firestone telemetry how smooth he's got to be on the throttle coming off, and McLaughlin now on the outside. How about that? Scott on Scott, Kiwi on Kiwi. He gets that position, and now he starts chasing down Rossi.
And he got by Stingray Robb immediately, so McLaughlin is still in play, and that's how he could help.
And here comes Colton Herta. Herta just got past Ferrucci as Rossi works his way through lap traffic. Now remember, Dixon and Rossi, older tires to what McLaughlin and Colton Herta have on their cars, and we might start to see it penalizing Dixon. I think we do. Look at Ferrucci. The turn 3 slide job that's probably the 10th time he's done that today.
It's a 20 lap advantage tire-wise. No mistakes allowed, because that's just going to cost you precious lap time. As Herta now trying to manage some lap traffic. Christian Lundgaard on the outside.
He's got 9 seconds on McLaughlin in the lead, but this does not help Colton Herta if he has to race Christian Lundgaard too hard.
McLaughlin's got a decent bit of clean air in front of him.
So Herta
I'm trying to get you help, bud, but I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah, the spotters are working. It's like the United Nations up there trying to negotiate as you see the Hy-Vee onboard out the back of Christian Lundgaard. In a lap and a half, Colton Herta just lost a second and a half.
Oh boy.
2 laps down is Christian Lundgaard. Sometimes you see the engine manufacturers get involved here. Both Honda Motors in the back of those things, but Herta getting the job done, Ferrucci style, slide job into 3.
You got some clear racetrack now. Use it, look after your tires.
And let's see
Everyone is pitted now.
kind of lap times Colton Herta could do and compare them to McLaughlin, who's got a 7-second gap on Alexander Rossi.
What place are we?
What
You
place
are
are we?
P1. You have a 10-lap tire negative into the chasers.
That's not terrible. 10 laps is not the 20-lap disadvantage we saw earlier. With 48 to go, we got a race, boys.
So we think the final stops are done, but McLaughlin and Rossi have fresher Firestones. Can they get on the charge to catch up to the Gamebridge driver? And eventually lap traffic will become in play. Jack Harvey is the car that is up in front. Colton Herta has never won on an oval. His best finished is 4th. Scott McLaughlin earlier this year, when he won an oval, said, I don't consider and didn't consider myself an IndyCar driver until I won on an oval. He's done it. The Gallagher Insurance onboard gives us the look as he splashes out a little bit wide.
Colton Herta shut down the inside line, but it's going to cost him. McLaughlin with the run up the inside. He'll have the point.
Side by side. How close do you want it? They almost touch. McLaughlin to the front of Milwaukee, and Herta fights right back on the outside. Herta regains the lead.
What a comeback on the outside from Colton. I don't think McLaughlin was expecting that at all. But man, what a strong run off of 4. McLaughlin trying to line it back up into 3.
Colton Herta took that pass like a hot poker to the face, and it woke him up in a big way. Here comes McLaughlin with another massive run off the corner.
I still can't believe how he managed to do that. McLaughlin was running a pretty wide line for being the car on the inside, trying to crowd Colton.
That is dicey down there in that low line.
And what this is doing is this is using a lot of that extra rubber that the Firestones on the 3 had, running in this dirty air, pushing this hard, but he's going to take another crack at it. Great run off of 4. In the draft, he pulls out.
Here comes McLaughlin
He's there. He's got a wing
with
on
the
you.
Gamebridge on board. That's our view, looking left.
By himself.
McLaughlin is clear, and he takes off.
Didn't leave Colton a whole lot of room to work with there. McLaughlin went right around the dark strip. As we understand, Linus Lundqvist might have gotten into the fence,
Might
but
this
he
be the
continues to
caution
go.
that Power needs to get a lap back? Slides up. How hard did he hit it?
He hit it. And what I don't love about this is you got Dave Malukas there running 112 laps down in the middle of a podium fight as we got a yellow Stingray Rob in turn 2. They're all coming for it.
Okay.
Ferrucci's in. So yeah, everybody on the lead lap, it looks like. I see Grosjean coming as well, so that's the whole lead lap. Power will get a lap back. Georgia.
This is what we talked about with Scott McLaughlin, a late yellow. This could help him. He has extra sets. They're not stickers, but they put fresh tires and splash of fuel. He's down and away. Colton Herta amongst another taker, taking tires and fuel, and he is also down away.
4.8 seconds for Alexander Rossi and Arrow McLaren. Heck of a pit stop.
Fuel only on the 7, guys.
Wow.
No fuel on the 7 , just tires. Just tires.
Tires
no
only,
fuel on
but
the 7.
still 4.8 seconds. That's a world record
That's
for 4 tires.
lightning fast for the 7. It got him ahead of Herta, who had a tragic stop. It was in the 8-second range. That's bad on a good day.
Here we go again from Milwaukee, and McLaughlin has a good jump. Dixon has a run on Rossi, and he zooms to 2nd. Dixon is on the charge. Herta going around the outside up to 3rd.
I think that move from Dixon caught Rossi off guard, had to get out of the throttle, and now Herta on Dixon into 3, side by side. Does the Ferrucci? Can Dixon fight back on the outside? Both guys throttling it.
I thought Herta was going to move up a little higher. They almost touched down the front straightaway. And the old guard versus the young guns here at Milwaukee. I said Dixon was the steady hand, but he made that pass like a 19-year-old going after his first win.
Who loves that fight? Scott McLaughlin is gapped by a 2nd.
No lap traffic in between these guys. No lap traffic up ahead for McLaughlin. He's not going to catch the back of the field. He is in the best seat in the house, clean air, and 9 laps to go, sorry.
Will Power has dropped down to last on that lead lap, so he has not moved forward on the restart. He is 10th. So at the moment, it's a 32-point cushion, and Palou can make up more points. He can still get one more position. He will in 4 laps to move up to 19th.
You've got a lap car of Christian Lundgaard in between Alexander Rossi and Colton Herta. That's that 2-second sandwich as Dixon starts to gather up Scott McLaughlin.
He is not done. He has cut that lead in half in the last 2 laps.
I think Dixon knew that he had a great race car, and that's why he so fiercely took the position with Herta and so fiercely defended on Herta coming back. Dixon thinks he can win this thing.
Two laps in a row. This has been the fastest car on the racetrack as he eats into that lead of McLaughlin.
So I just wondered, what is the 45 doing up there? He's getting a drive-through for failure to follow the direction of IndyCar. He was probably supposed to move to the back, as now Ferrucci is trying to get another spot. Side by side and wheel to wheel with Alexander Rossi.
Oh, there's the move.
Fourth.
That's the move Ferrucci loves all day long.
Everybody came in for tires in that lead lap, but we have no idea how old those tires were. They were all used. Could have been different numbers of laps.
Scott Dixon just turned the fastest lap of the race in these closing stages. A 23.5.
I believe these two have finished first and second on an oval before, but in reverse order from how they're running now. McLaughlin took that victory in Iowa. We see Ericsson now trying to make some moves on Rinus VeeKay down in 3.
Now 4 miles to go at the Milwaukee Mile for the leader, Scott McLaughlin, as Marcus Ericsson picks up a spot. He's running in 6th. There's the gap. 1st to 2nd, McLaughlin.
But McLaughlin comes up on Christian Rasmussen, who has been a factor all day long for some of the faster cars, but he wisely stays low and gets out of the way.
And here comes Dixon, 58 career wins, 9 away from AJ Foyt, a 6-time champion. That is not possible this year, but he could take another step to the unthinkable, maybe flirting with the all-time win record, with still plenty to go in the tank for the 44-year-old.
First came here to Milwaukee back in 1999 as an Indy Lights driver with Stefan Johansson as the team owner. 26th year, I think, racing at Milwaukee. He knows this place better than anybody in the field.
It does not look like Dixon is going to have enough. McLaughlin can bring it home. 1 lap to go at the Milwaukee Mile for Scott McLaughlin. He could stay mathematically alive in the championship. He would be eliminated if Alex Palou starts the race. But all you can do is what's available. Scott McLaughlin has been quick all weekend. He loves the history of motorsports. There's not much more historical than the Milwaukee Mile. In the IndyCar return, Scott McLaughlin has won again on an oval.
Yes. Let's go, boys.
How were you able to deal with the unpredictability of this race?
That was like the most fun race I've had in IndyCar. It was a blast. So happy for everyone in the Gallagher Chevy. Like we just stuck with it, and it wasn't quite good at the start, the car, and then we just tuned her up, and it was awesome. So a lot better in traffic today, which helped a lot. Credit to Colton and all the races out there. We had a blast racing each other, and the 21 car, their pit crew, they helped me a lot, and some exchanges helping me get into the pit box and stuff. So big thanks to Team Chevy and that teamwork that we have, and yeah, burn the house down. It's awesome. I'm pumped.
What does this win signify for this team?
Just tenacity, I guess, in some ways. You know, we work hard. Our car wasn't great last night. I did a terrible job yesterday, and we really worked hard on it. I hardly slept last night. Honestly, I got like 4.5 hours sleep just because I was just like so stressed about like what I did wrong and what I could do better, and just really lucky to have this group, you know, and we'll just keep working, and hopefully, you know, that's all we can do is win races from now on, so we'll just have fun.
Here is the championship with 1 to go.
Really a seesaw day with those top 2 at 1 point. Power in a position to come out of here with the championship lead until that unfortunate and untimely spin off of turn 4 on the restart Colton Herta drops a spot. Scott Dixon moves up a spot. The rest of the field about level.
Up next, it's the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, Sunday, September 15th. Watch it at 3 p.m. on NBC.